Hello everyone, it is Toby from Electro Leopard here, and today I'm doing something a bit different, which is looking at the new releases from Apple, which was earlier this week. I think it was actually depends on our releases video. So, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember, but Apple released a lot of new stuff, like Macbook Air, new one, and yeah, I'm just going to go over what they released and what I think about it. So first, let's just look at the Macbook Air here. I'll go onto this Apple Store, and one big thing first. If you notice here, something missing that used to go about there. Yep, they have. It's kind of hard to see on my camera though. Sorry about that. They have discontinued the white plastic MacBook, which, I mean, you could see it coming. You didn't really know where they were going to go with the refresh, so not too surprised, but I think it's a bit it was a bit stupid because the MacBook, the white one, I think it was for students. Loads of students bought it, and they might not want a MacBook Air, so I think they're just trying to make people jump up to the MacBook Pro, and by eliminating it. So it's not terrible, but I think it's a bit silly by Apple there. So now we have and I think they've dropped the price of the MacBook Air as well, so it's like the same price as an old MacBook. But for the low end MacBook Air, you're not getting that much. If you look here, wait, you can't really see it. It says it's a 1.6 gigahertz dual core i5, Intel Core i5, 2 gigabytes DDR3 SD RAM, 64 gigabytes of flash storage, and Intel Graphics HD. So you're not getting too much there for £849. But if you want to, it's the same as the MacBook. So yeah, I think it's a reasonable price, keeping like that. But with the 11-inch, the max specs you can get are I think it's 1.7 gigahertz, 1.8 gigahertz actually, 1.8 gigahertz dual core i7. You can get 256 gigs of flash storage, and if you update, if you do all these options, upgrade the 11-inch to the full, it's getting into a pretty pricey computer, and you get 4 gigs of RAM. So with all this, it's £1,400, which that's pretty expensive. Moving on to the 13-inch here, and this is the base model. It's £1,099, so it's not. I think this is reasonable. 1.7 gigahertz i5, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigs of flash storage, and still the Intel HD graphics. And that's one of the bad points I think about the MacBook Air, the new one. They've ditched the NVIDIA graphics card, and they've gone with a graphics card that's like soldered onto the motherboard. But apparently it's got some bad reviews, the Intel HD 3000, which they've got on the MacBook Pro. So if you're going to use this if you're going to buy one and you think you want to game on it, it's going to be quite difficult unless you put everything down to low settings. But you can see how that handles, see how the HD 3000 handles it, because it might be okay, but it's just received some bad reviews in the past. And my friend's got a MacBook Pro with the Intel 3000, the 13-inch, and it runs games okay, but it's not that good. If you're looking for a gaming PC, for sort of not gaming PC, what am I talking about? Gaming a Mac to play games on, you should probably go for the 15-inch MacBook Pro at least, because it has the NVIDIA and the Intel, or an iMac. That would be good as well. But if you're looking for a laptop, I go for 15-inch MacBook Pro if you want to do gaming. So this would not be good for gaming at all. It's good for like a portable little computer. But you could also, if you could, it's now got Thunderbolt port, which was I'd be really surprised if it didn't have it. And yeah, obviously gonna have Thunderbolt port. I think there's no changes to the hardware exactly. I mean the like USB ports and stuff. It's still got 2 USB ports. MagSafe. The 13-inch has an SD card reader, and yep, I think that's it. And also, kind of annoying that you can't actually. I'm not sure. I don't think you can get 8 gigabytes of RAM, which, in my opinion, some people are probably going to want 8 gigabytes of RAM. Look, you can't sit here. That you can't upgrade to that. The highest you can upgrade is 1.8 gigahertz Intel Core i7, and now you're looking at £1,500, which I think that's like 15-inch MacBook Pro territory. So it's a bit. I think the pricing's a bit steep, if I'm honest. But for the base model, it's not terrible. And yeah, there's no FaceTime HD camera. They've just left it with it. And now I'm going to move on to the Mac Mini. And with this, there aren't really any major design changes, apart from there seems to be something missing here, and that would be there's no super drive anymore, which that's kind of just trying to cram an extra 70 quid out of people by just removing the super drive. But I guess Apple are trying to push the sort of digital downloads of the Lion only being you can't get a disc or a flash drive with the Lion on. They're just pushing for digital downloads. So they're trying to get you to do that by just wait a minute, by just not having a super drive. And if you look here, the specs aren't too bad. It's actually pretty reasonable. 2.3 gigahertz dual core i5, 2 gigabytes RAM, 500 gigabyte hard drive, and Intel HD graphics. But you can upgrade it pretty easily, and I don't know if the one supported it before. Even the lowest model supports 8 gigs of RAM. You can get 750 gig hard drive. And if I add those two options, you're sort of, if you want to upgrade it to 4 gigs of RAM, it's only £609. I know, considering if you got a PC of that sort of spec, you could buy it for a bit cheaper. But if you want to buy your first Mac, or if you're doing that, I think people are thinking you could start thinking about the Mac Mini a bit more now, because it's good because of the small form factor, and yeah, it's actually pretty reasonable. And it as it says there, it ships with Lion pre-installed, so you don't have to install it or anything. And the server version, which is like the highest version, which is £849, is pretty. It's quite good. It's got a 2 gigahertz quad core i7 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte hard drive. It's got Intel HD graphics, but I don't know how much you can bump it up. I don't know if you can have 16. I think you can have 8 gigs of RAM. And with your Mac Mini, you could include the new cinema display, which is called the Thunderbolt display, and it has a Thunderbolt port, USB ports, FireWire, Ethernet. It's got a FaceTime HD camera, and there is no 24-inch. It's just 27-inch, which is pretty flipping huge. That's a massive screen. That's like a TV size, not quite, but yeah, that's pretty damn big. And the resolution, you're gonna need to have a high resolution for such a big screen, is 2560 by 1440. So it's really sort of really nice screen, good quality. Yes, that's just the update. And That's £899. So I still think it's a bit of a ridiculous price. £800. So you could buy £899. You could buy an actual Mac instead of just a screen for that. So yeah, but I don't think they'll be lowering that price anytime soon. But the interesting thing about this is you could have dual displays, the iMac before, but this you can sort of have like iMac, and then because of the Thunderbolt you could link up potentially 3 displays, so that would look pretty awesome. And yeah, I might put a picture of that in the video just to show you how cool it looks. But only if you have lots of money. So that's it on the Thunderbolt display and the Mac Mini. And finally we have the Big Daddy, the king of the desktop, OS X Lion. And yeah, as it says, it's only $20.99, which I think that's pretty good pricing for what it is. Because if you're going to charge sort of like how much Windows 7 is, that's ridiculous, because although they've made like what 200 and something like tweaks or whatever they said, or changes, it doesn't. I haven't got it because I don't have a Mac. I want one though, and it doesn't look to be that different from what I've seen. There are some good changes like mission control and launchpad, and also full screen apps. It's like and all the gestures and stuff. So it's been nicely tweaked, but I don't think they've changed it that much. And I think a few people have been complaining about that it's not changed enough. But I think that's why it's $20.99. And Snow Leopard was good, so it's kind of hard to improve on something that was already really good. And the stuff they've added is good. So yeah, I think that's reasonable. I wouldn't complain about that. But I don't know. I don't have it. That's just what I think, going by what I've seen. And yeah, the speakers arrived. I was going to give away. So I'll do that in a couple of videos. But I need to reach 25 subscribers, which may not seem like very much, but I only have 3 at the moment. So yeah, laugh all you like. And I should be getting my PC today. Not getting it. I'm going to order it today, and then it should arrive by what day is it today? It should arrive by Monday or Tuesday or something like that. I don't really care. So there's only one problem though. I don't have enough money to buy a monitor, so I'm just going to have a PC sitting there. I can still do a bit though. I can like unbox it and all that, and take you through the parts and stuff. So I'll put out a lot of coverage on that, and also to put out more content, I'll just like look at new tech stuff like I've done today, because it's just on the internet, so it's quite easy. And hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, like, comment, ask me a question if you like. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, I think. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.